کعبے میں جا بجائیں ناقوس اب تو باندھا ہے دیر میں احرام. Hi, welcome to another episode of Everyday Ghalib. As you know by now, if you've been looking at these, we take a verse from Mirza Ghalib in each episode, and when we examine it for its meaning, for its implication for our times, and so on. These verses all come from a collection that my co-author Anjum Altaf and I have worked on for our book Thinking with Ghalib. Today's verse is a slightly different one from the usual ghazal verses that we've been picking. It doesn't come from one of his standard ghazals, so it can sometimes be a little hard to find, but nonetheless it is a wonderful one that is worth thinking about. It goes something like this. کعبے میں جا بجائیں گے ناقوس کعبے میں جا بجائیں گے ناقوس اب تو باندھا ہے دیر میں احرام اب تو باندھا ہے دیر میں احرام. There are some words here that are important to understand, and once I translate them, I think you'll immediately get what he's trying to say. I think everybody probably knows what a kaabe is. We've talked about it before on our show as well. A naaquus is a conch. It's a Persian word for conch. So remember that. Naaquus bajana is to blow the conch. And an ihraam is a cloak that you wear when you go on a pilgrimage to Hajj, to Makkah, to undertake the Hajj. So it's a holy cloak that Muslims wear. A dayr is a temple. So now let's take all of this together. A conch, a kaabe, the holy cloak that Muslims wear, a temple that Hindus go to. What is he saying? He is obviously deliberately mixing up our preconceived notions of religious symbolism. He's saying, come, we'll go to the Kaaba, we'll go to the mosque, and we'll blow a conch there, as the Hindus do in their temples. And come, we'll go to the temple wearing this cloak that Muslims wear when they go on their pilgrimage. کعبے میں جا بجائیں گے ناقوس اب تو باندھا ہے دیر میں احرام. Now that we have tied this holy cloak of the Muslims and gone to the Hindu place of worship, might as well go to the mosque and blow a conch there. Right? Some of you who heard our earlier episodes would have seen some verses that were very similar in feeling. There was one where we talked about how if a Brahmin dies in the temple, then he is worthy of being buried in the Kaaba. مرے بت کھانے میں تو کعبے میں گاڑو برمن کو. Very similar sentiment. Take powerful religious symbols and then play with them to unsettle people's notions of what it means to be Hindu, what it means to be Muslim. This verse also reminds me of a famous verse of Ghalib which is in Persian, but it's worth quoting here. It's not that difficult to understand. And it also invokes the Kaaba and the naaquus, the conch and the mosque. And this verse comes from Ghalib's Persian poem on the city of Banaras or Varanasi. The book or the Masnavi is called Chirag-e Dayr, and it's recently been published as a book in English translation. And one of the most famous verses from that book goes something like this. He is describing the city of Banaras, and he says, what is Banaras? Ibadat khana-e naaqusiyan ast. It is the place of worship of the conch blowers. Ibadat khana-e naaqusiyan ast. Hama kaabe Hindustan ast. Surely, what is Banaras? It is the Kaaba of Hindustan. And this became very famous as a description of the city of Banaras, of the holy city, as the Kaaba of India. Think about this and what Ghalib is trying to tell us about how we should be living in our times. I probably don't need to tell you why we chose this verse and why we think it is relevant to our times. Anjum in Pakistan, me in India, have both been watching our societies struggle increasingly with religious polarization and people taking strong ideological sides, often breaking into violent conflict. And Ghalib, like many other poets before him, is telling us to beware of this. is asking us to think critically about how much power we give these symbols over us. And he's deliberately saying, break these notions that you have and think for yourself. Join me next time to learn more of such ideas from Ghalib. Thank you.